It's already recording.
Yeah, I put it on record. Action.
Action.
All right, another great day, guys. As you know, drones are my thing. I love drones. Maybe not all of you do, but hey, I do. And I think a lot of you are starting to appreciate some of the footage I put together. But today we've got another new drone. One of my favorites. I got lots of favorites, as you know, but this one is one I've been working with the company, Eric Hugh, even the developer of the drone when it first came out 3 years ago. And that was the original Mariner. And this is now version 3. So this is a brand new Splash Drone 3, just received. And they've done everything over. So I'm real excited to try this one because, as you know, we've had some pains in the ass with this drone in the past. The Splash Drone 2 and the 1. They had some issues with, you know, stabilization and the gimbal jittering and stuff like that. But now they've got their own dual axis 4K camera gimbal that's fully proprietary. They developed it just for the Splash Drone. And we got that to test out. And actually they've sent me a new one because they've got a brand new camera that just has upgraded a couple new features. So this is what we're gonna be testing today. I already flew with this one and I flew it a little while ago and noticed that there was a little bit of problem with saturation levels in the whites, especially in the exposure levels. So they told me that yes, they were working on that and they've got a new one that they just sent me, which is this guy right here. So this one, supposedly they have adjusted a lot of the exposure levels and has much better contrast. So that's what we're gonna be testing today. So I'm not gonna do a full unboxing, anything like that. I know you guys probably aren't interested in that kind of stuff, but we're just gonna take it up for a little test flight, test the stability, and see what it does from there. But everything in this one is new. It's got the brand new S3 flight controller. It's got the brand new radio transmitter with the integrated LCD. It has brand new propulsion systems, all new motors. The propellers even, they've got a newly designed propeller system that is snap and twist. So these are very upgraded compared to the last ones that we got. So we're gonna be testing those today also. So what we're gonna do today is just basically right out of the box, I've done a compass calibration on it. That's all I've done. I'm not gonna go through that process with you here because I know a lot of you guys aren't interested in that, but I'll put together a full set of tutorials that are gonna show you exactly how to calibrate everything out of the box, get it ready to fly, and do your first test flight. But that'll come at a later date. Today, it's just about taking it up, testing the hover, see how it does, and get some footage, see what it looks like. So let's go. All right. As you can see, the crew's busy entertaining themselves. We're here at this crappy location again. I know you guys hate this stuff, sorry. But this is where we're testing the Splash Drone 3 today. Okay, so we got the new controller out. I'm gonna turn it on, just press and hold the 2 buttons. Powers up, pull the screen out, get it ready. And you can see I've got the drone ready. I've put on the landing gear. The full thing is modular now, so everything comes off very easily. The landing gear comes off. The whole gimbal comes off with 1 screw. So that's how they get away with a much smaller carrying case now. You don't need to have everything all in one. It'll drop into a much thinner case, makes it a lot easier to transport, a lot easier to store. So that's a really nice feature as well, especially when you live on a boat. So, hey. I've already got it loaded up with the propellers. They're installed. The new gimbal and camera is installed, 4K, so we're gonna test that out. And now what we're gonna do is open up the top and power it up. Now, so I've already got the battery installed. I've plugged it in. As you guys remember, always tuck that battery cable back behind the battery as much as possible. You still want to keep it as far away from the rest of everything in the drone as possible. Even though we've got the external the compass puck now, it's always good just to keep it as far away as possible so you have less interference. And that's it. So actually I'm gonna wait because the LED is inside and I just want to see what it's doing. So it's still doing its startup. So we'll give it a couple seconds for that because it's going to take a little bit for it to lock onto all the GPS satellites. But you can see that the camera is functioning now. I think you can see the screen there on LCD. So the camera is functioning and working. And we'll give it a couple minutes to get ready here. Okay, so just give it a little bit of time to load up the GPS satellites, and now we got the double flashing green inside, so that means all systems are go. So we're gonna load the top on and screw it down. Now don't forget to check around the gasket. This is important with these things. Make sure that there's no dirt or hair or anything like that in there that's gonna cause a little bit of a water leak, because if you're gonna be flying on the ocean, even like we are today, You don't want anything getting in the gasket that's just going to leak through a piece of dirt and let moisture inside the drone. So be very careful of that. Other than that, just make sure everything is tightened down well. Make sure that the gimbal adjustment screw, the installation screw, is tight. So that's good. And let's see, I'm just going to give it a quick start just to make sure everything's good. Okay, so it's ready to go. So we'll shut that down. Make sure it's in GPS mode. We've got 15 satellites locked on. 16.4 volts. Always remember to keep track of your voltage. This has lots of low battery warnings and everything built into it that'll come on your screen, so that's always a good thing as well, but got to pay attention to it, because the last thing you want to do is run your battery down. All of a sudden it just goes into auto land someplace. You don't want it to do that. Okay, so that's hands off. It's doing its own thing right now. So that looks pretty good so far. Gonna angle the gimbal down a little bit. So you can see right there, I don't know if you can see the screen hopefully, but you can see what's on it. Fairly actually gusty in here. I don't know if you can see these tree leaves up here, but we got a lot of wind coming through here, so it's having to react to that and just hold its position. And bear in mind, this one does not have optical sensors. It's relying strictly on GPS because it's a sealed unit. And even its altitude is controlled from what's inside the sealed unit with a barometric pressure sensor. They've upgraded all of that, and the new S3 controller is rumored to be very, very stable. And I'm looking at it right now thinking it seems to be. That's amazingly stable considering what I'm looking at for the wind right now. So let's take it back a bit. Stops automatically and just goes right back into a hover. That looks pretty good. Still in the frame? You can see it's very sensitive on the controls, responds directly to what I'm telling it to do, and as soon as I let go, it goes right back into a hover. So we'll pull it back a little bit. Immediately brakes and stops within about 3 feet. So that's cool. Bring it up a little bit. Back a little bit. All right, we're looking good so far. No, I'm quite impressed with the stability of the hover. The hover looks really amazing so far. I'm really quite happy to see that, because as some of you know, we've had our issues with the Splash Drone 2 and previous models that wouldn't stay in a hover so well, and altitude control was always a problem. But it looks like the new flight controller has definitely rectified that, because this is doing amazingly well. I'm not doing anything, it's doing its own thing. Even in a cross breeze. All right, let's take it for a little tour around the block. Follow? No. This is where we'll switch to this footage. Okay, so I've leveled it out on the horizon. You can see on the screen here, but we should be recording on board as well, so I'll be able to show you exactly what it looks like. But so far everything looks good. I'm going to take it up a little bit. And go for a little flight.
It's not on, is it? Thank you.
We're just doing a nice slow rotation around Sophisticated Lady. So far everything looks good. The yaw is good. It looks smooth. The exposure levels and colors seem to be good on the screen here. Okay, so we'll go up into the sun. Of course, everything's going to wash it out there. So let's take it back here a little bit and we'll check out Gouda's boat. Still see it? Okay, there's Gouda's boat in the sun there. The dynamic range looks a lot better than the first one I tested, that's for sure, so I'm happy to hear about that. Let's do a little rotation around. Now remember, this is the first time I've flown this thing in a long time, or one of these drones, so every drone responds differently to the sticks. That's the first thing you realize. But so far we got good signal, nice image, nice color. Horizon looks stable. A little rotation around Gouda's boat. Alright, let's gain some altitude and go for a little ride. Yeah, it's moving. We're heading right at the horizon, right at the top of that hill there, you can see. So I'm going to gain a little bit more altitude, make sure we don't hit the top of the mountain. That would be no fun. But yeah, so far I have to say I'm very impressed how stable it is. It's actually responding really, really well. Yeah. Yeah, it's at 80 meters. 80 meters altitude and 350 meters distance. Alright, so there's the island where we're all anchored right there. So let's bring it back in. The image is very clear. I mean, I'm very happy with that. That is very nice. So this built-in screen is actually doing a really good job. You guys see it yet?
Yeah, I see it.
Go what?
That's okay.
So there's the beach we're on right now. I'm just doing a nice little rotation around that. Just high enough to miss the masts of the sailboats. And there we are, there's our dinghy. So I'll start bringing it in. And there we are. Wow. Eric, SwellPro. I must say I'm impressed. That's a good job so far. I got lots more to test, but for a first test out of the box, I'm real happy with this, I gotta say. successful test. So that was cool. Did exactly what it was supposed to do when it was supposed to do it. Happy with that. So now we're going to swap out the battery and do a little splash test. So it is, after all, called the Splash Drone.
Someone has a count.
1, 2, 3.
Wait, no. Ah! I lost it. That was a one-time only. Yeah, maybe. I need to practice. Man, the sand really helps because, I don't know, you get a good grip.
Okay, so we got our last battery loaded up. Now we're going to do the real splash test. We're going to take it out and the girls are going to try and splash the crap out of it and try and sink it and see what happens. I'd call that a successful test. All right, good job, girls. Splash Drone prevails. Don't try that with your DJI. That's it. Mission complete.